So it's been 5 months since I've ordered this watch, and it finally just arrived, and I've actually been really looking forward to this. So today we're going to take a look at the Kurono Toki, the anniversary version. And I've been trying to move away from so much time on unboxing, but after receiving this and opening it, I thought the packaging was so fantastic. I really did want to spend a little bit of time on it. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. It comes in this big black box, and it comes with all sorts of little things. It comes with this. I'm not sure exactly the correct name for this, but it's a beautiful little piece of cloth. Each item that they add on here, they do add a little note that kind of explains why they included it. And I do believe this is some sort of call to the ibis bird here, and there's some sort of connection between the ibis bird and the color of the watch. It also came with this pretty nice letter, kind of introducing you to the watch, to the Kurono family. Some nice packaging here, and it did include this. Again, I'm not familiar with these terms, I do apologize, but I do see this as kind of just like a decorative, something decorative. It does have some Japanese significance, and again, I really do think it's just a nice touch from the company to allow the buyer to kind of dive a little bit deeper into the Japanese side of things. And finally, of course, the watch itself. I do want to commend Kurono because this watch was actually in a super oddly sealed package, and when I received it, I was kind of confused as to why they packaged it like that. And then upon reading it, it was some sort of protection against COVID, some sort of COVID-related packaging, that they sealed it and it was safe to send off. So again, I really do commend them. And here is the actual box of the watch itself. Very simple, very not over the top. Here it is. So I've been waiting for this for almost half a year, and when it arrived, to be honest, here we go. When it arrived, a certain part of me was I had lost the hype of it. I was so excited about it, and so much time had passed that it's not that I wasn't excited or I didn't want it. It's just, again, so much time had passed, and after getting it, it's just, everything came back, and I'm absolutely blown away by this watch. And I did want to show off the packaging briefly because the watch itself is absolutely phenomenal. So the story of Kurono is, again, you can find this anywhere online and probably in better detail, but the story of Kurono is essentially designer Hajime Asaoka, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that, but he's a master designer who designs very high-end watches and very limited high-end watches. So we're really talking about watches in the probably north of $100,000 range, and there's an enormous wait list for it. So not only is it very expensive, even if you're willing to pay the money, you probably won't be able to get one just because there's such a long wait list of years. And he was very well known before this Kurono endeavor, but he decided to, kind of as a thanks to the watch community that has made him so popular and world known, he decided to start this entry-level watch company that would give a lot of people like me that aren't in that market the ability to buy one of his watches, kind of the ability to own one of his designs at a lower end price. And the watch company and the watches have actually been subject to some criticism because their movements, their specifications really aren't all that impressive. I do believe this uses a pretty standard Miyota movement. It does use sapphire crystal and pretty standard materials, but the price tag is what kind of gets on the nerves of a lot of people. This watch was worth north of $2,000, and a lot of people do criticize it because they don't think the materials, movement merits that kind of price. But really the reason I did want to do this review is because I could understand where they're coming from, but after holding this in my hand as I am right now, all of that kind of goes away just by seeing this watch in person. And I've seen a lot of reviews on these watches, and I do have to say that really you don't get the full experience until you're holding it in your hand. I'm a big fan of Art Deco, and as we'll see right now with my Reverso, and this honestly absolutely exemplifies that. But really the specifications are fantastic. I'll have them up on the screen so that you're able to see. But the watch itself, I think, is the epitome of a perfect dress watch with that DNA of Master Asaoka. And it is a great way to kind of dive a little bit into that kind of design by that kind of fantastic watchmaker at a relatively affordable price. These have been extremely limited. All of the Kurono releases have been very limited. And this one actually was one where they said, they opened up a window of time and they said everybody within these 10 minutes will be able to get one if they want one. And of course, a lot of people bought them, and the wait to receive your watch became enormous. For reference, I bought mine within the first 2 or 3 minutes of that 10-minute window, and I had to wait about 6 months to get it. I know a lot of people are gonna have to wait about a year, if not over a year, but really, I do have to say, if you're waiting for this, it's absolutely worth it, as I think most people that own this watch would agree. So I brought out a couple of other watches to kind of compare it to, very popular watches, so you're able to see the specifications close to it and see how it would wear. And first of all, of course, I brought out a Speedmaster, just because so many people own the Speedmaster that I figured you'd see how it would wear. And honestly, just by looking at it here, it is significantly smaller. The Kurono, obviously being under 40 millimeters, is going to do that for you. But it's also not extremely small like a lot of dress watches. Thickness. Kind of off topic, but this right here is a perfect 2-watch collection, I would say. Pretty versatile, absolutely classic. And really the big one I wanted to compare with is this Reverso, simply because the two designs are very Art Deco. The two are they're small dress watches. I think this is actually labeled as a woman's watch, the Reverso, simply because I believe it's one of the smallest Reversos you can buy. I do have a review on it on my page, so if you want to see more on this one, the Reverso, you can find the full unboxing and review on my channel. But as you can see the DNA in there, the very similar Art Deco DNA, and I think this is absolutely awesome to own both of these, Japanese versus Swiss, where you can see both designers drawing from a similar source. So really, there's a lot of videos on it, there's a lot to say about this one. But I do want to say, if you're one of those that doesn't think it merits the price, I don't mean to be rude, but it's one of those things that you're just not going to understand until you hold one in your hands. The watch is absolutely fantastic. There's absolutely nothing bad about it that I can say. It's worth the price to me. And really, when it comes to owning a piece that has been designed by Master Asaoka, I don't think you really put a price tag on that. This one has absolutely blown me away, and at a little bit north of $2,000, I really do think it is worth it. Of course, you're going to see a lot of flippers trying to sell this for a lot more online, but that's just really how this kind of thing goes. Just look at how that dial changes colors with the light. Again, where inside the light isn't all that great, but I'll show it with some outdoor shots, and actually I'll do that now. I'll show it with some outdoor shots and see how that dial really pops. So obviously here it is with some sunlight. It's absolutely fantastic. The dial, I wouldn't say is salmon color, it's more copper. That really does change with the light, with the lighting. But let's go ahead and throw it on the wrist and see how that wears. Yeah, on the wrist it absolutely wears as I thought it would. It's absolutely fantastic. It's not too thick. It's actually on the thin side, but even at that, it's not thin enough to where it disappears like I often find with my reversal. It's a perfect size. And actually, if I do have one criticism of it, the strap, the stock strap is not the greatest. I'm surprised. It's not terrible, but I do think I'm going to be switching this out relatively soon. But yeah, look at that. It's just fantastic on the wrist. Perfect size, perfect everything. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about this one. Extremely happy to finally receive it, and I think anybody who's waiting for it, you're going to be very, very pleased when you do.